Alright guys, so we're gonna go over some test hands now with our Dark World deck profile, which I made a video on a couple days ago. So let's just get right on top of this. So let's start. Alright, so this is quite a decent start, and we're gonna go over some combos, some reasonings why we do the things we do. So first of all, out of these 5 cards, which one are we going to be using first? The card you want to use first is Genta, because you don't want to use your corridor. I mean, you can probably go for archives as well, just activate archives, but you're either gonna go archives or Genta. And the reason why you're gonna go for Genta is Genta's only target is Gates of the Dark World, right? And you have 3 of them in your deck. If you go for Dark Corridor, Dark Corridor, you can add any Dark World monster from your deck to your hand. But since you can get gates of the Dark World, right, with Genta, and then use gates, dump snow, for example, draw a card, etc. It's better to get all the randomness out of the way before you want to choose uh, what you want specifically. So what do I mean by this? I will just continue with this and explain to you what happens. So let's do this. Let's get our gates, activate our gates, and activate the effect. Banish this, drop snow, and we draw a card. The card we drew is Brow, and of course, if Genta gets banished while you have a Dark World card active face up on the field, you can special summon this from the banished zone. That you can only do once per turn. All right, so what is the randomness that I was talking about? The randomness is the card that we drew because of Gates of the Dark World, right? This effect here. This is the randomness. Because we do not know what we're going to draw, we want to get this out of the way, get the random card from the deck to our hand, and then recalibrate and rethink what we want to add with Dark Corridor. Of course, in this specific moment, we have the effect of Snow, where we can add any of these cards from our deck to our hand. And with the extra knowledge of the randomness that we got, we can now rethink what we want to draw. So, in this case, I'd say the best card we can go for is Rainbow, and the reason is because we can discard Rainbow and then have it in our graveyard to bounce it back to special summon it and bounce back Genta to our hand. So let's activate this. So from here, what we can do is we can either just activate Archives straight up, drop Rainbow, and now we can trigger Archives as well. Get this, get this. So we can add Silva to our hand, and now we drop Brow, for example, draw 2 cards from this. These are all effects. If you want to go over them, just feel free to like pause the video, read the cards, what they do, or like search them up on the web somewhere else. So now what we have here is that we can special summon Rainbow by bouncing Genta, and now we can use Genta again, get our gates again. The important thing, as I said before about Genta, is you want to use him, the first thing you want to do is use its effect, right? Because if, let's say, we use Allure of Darkness here, right? If we use Allure of Darkness and draw Gates of the Dark World, this means that our Genta is now useless because there is no other gates in the Dark World in the deck, right? So his effect, his adding effect, is now useless. And because you can add gates with Genta, you do not want to draw gates with Allure of Darkness. With Allure of Darkness, you optimally want to draw something else. Anything else. Anything else, because gates you can get with Genta. So you use Genta first to get technically the targeted card, the only card it can give you, and then the random card you just draw from your deck with Allure of Darkness or Abstract Goblin or Card Destruction, you want to do that afterwards, if you can, right? So how do we continue here? Um, Again, we can go for Charge, you can go for Dark Corridor, even Allure of Darkness, but what I'm going to go for is Gate of the Dark World again. Why? Because, again, of the randomness part. Activate this, banish Genta, drop Silva, and draw a card with Drew Allure of Darkness, special summon Silva. Of course, we cannot special summon Genta again because it's on once per turn special summon effect. So now what do we do? Now, you don't want to go Allure of Darkness here because if you draw like if you do not draw any other Dark World monsters, you will have to banish Grapha from your hand, and you don't want to do that. So what other options do you have here? You can go for Charge, special summon Snow from your graveyard, and then discard Grapha from your hand. But if you do that, Grapha will not destroy any card on your opponent's side of the field because there are no cards at the moment. So you optimally want to do something else. And the only other option you have right here is go for Dark Corridor, right? Go Corridor. And what do you want to get here? The best option again is Rainbow. Why? Like you don't want to go for Bro or Snow. These cards like Bro and Snow and Genta and all these cards, these are like searchers. You don't want to search a searcher. You want to get the card that's crucial. And the crucial cards, the main cards for like your board establishment, etc., are like Rainbows, Graphas, and all those cards. So you want to go for Rainbow. You want to drop the Rainbow now. And with Rainbow, who is also a searcher, you search this, for example, right? And now you can do this. And now out of nowhere, by just using Dark Corridor, from 5 cards, you now have 7 cards in your hand. So you know what you can do now? You can go Allure of Darkness. Or you can even go Charge into a Dark World. You can go for so many things here. Let's say you go for Charge, right? Special summon this from the graveyard. And then discard 1 Fiend monster from your hand. Let's say this. At this point, you could even just discard Grapha and, you know, bounce Snow to special summon Grapha from the graveyard, then go into your coaching Giant Trainer, for example. Let's go Allure though. This is not optimal here. I'd rather if we were able to banish something different. Let's banish Silva regardless. All right. So now it seems that we've reached a point where using Allure here is not optimal because we explained this before. Using Accession here is also not optimal because you can drop Graph from your hand, but then you will have to banish either Brow from the graveyard or any of these monsters. So what do you want to do here? Here, what you want to do is go for a Link Summon here. Why? You go for a Link Summon, let's say Cross Ship, using your 2 rainbows. Or actually, you cannot use. You need different name. Yeah, we need different names. So let's instead go for Muckcracker, using your 2 rainbows. Why do you want to do this? Because now what you can do is, since you send the 2 rainbows to the graveyard, you can special summon them again by bouncing Lucent and Snow. So now what you can do is you can once again use Allure of Darkness, and you can banish like Snow from your hand. You can even use Accession and drop Grapha and Lucent, for example. You can do so many things. And you also have Muckcracker as well. you can use its effect and extend your combos even more. But for the moment, let's go for Dark World Accession, right? Get our Grapha and drop Grapha and Lucent. It was a mistake to place Grapha here, by the way. I should have placed Grapha either here or here, because now if I want to go for a Link Summon, and the only place will be here where Grapha is, now we'll have to use Grapha as a link material. So that was a mistake. But regardless, it's not that costly, but it is what it is. Now what we can do is special summon Grapha by bouncing Lucent, and you can see that I have triple Tactics Thrust in my hand for a long time now. And the reason I'm not really sold on this card yet is because if I do not use a Ceruli combo, I cannot use this card. So this is a dead card in my hand. Of course, right now this Dark World Accession is also a dead card because I already used it and it's a once per turn. So generally what I want to do with these cards is I try to get into card destruction and drop these cards. Get new ones. You can even go for Saryuja if you would like in this case, and uh, you know, kind of like replenish your hand, etc. Yeah, but all these are not necessary, and you will see why. Now, what we do though? How do we continue our combos here? The best thing you can do right now is go for Giant Trainer. Go for this, and after this, you can go boom, boom, and boom. All right. So our board right now, let's just pause for a moment and see our board. At the moment, we have our Fusion Grapha, which is already a very strong card. Has a good negate, has 3200 attack, which is not easily movable. And we can also use this effect. We also have all these cards in our hand, which are quite a lot of cards. We also have two rainbows and one Grapha, which can be, summoned on our field for even more plays, etc. So from what you can see here is that we have already established quite a strong board, and we can keep on going now. So what do we do here? We set this card. We can set this later on, but I just want to set this right now because I don't want to be having this in my hand. But the optimal play will be to set this card during the end phase, for example, or before you use card destruction. Okay. Now how do we continue? We don't want to use this effect right now, because if you do, then we can only special summon Fiend monsters for the rest of the turn, and you don't want to go there just yet. So let's just normal summon this, bounce this back, and do this. What's next? As I said, we cannot use Dark World Accession anymore this turn. So what should we do? We can set this, end this, and use card destruction. Instead of, like, for example, setting Accession and use card destruction for 3 cards, we can do this and get 4 cards. We drew 4 cards, and then some extra searches with Snow. So I can go for one of them being this search, and the other search being maybe a Ceruli. Oh, no, never mind. I drew Ceruli, so I don't really need another one. Let's go for another rainbow. All right. Now how do we continue? We have a Lucent on the field, so let's just bounce this back to our hand. All right, great. Now what? How do we continue now? One play could be to go gates, new gates, banish this, drop Ceruli, and with Ceruli we drop Rainbow. And what Rainbow does is it adds Grapha to our hand, and then we can special summon a level 4 or lower dark world monster from the deck to either side of the field. So let's, if we didn't draw Ceruli this time, we would special summon Ceruli from a deck to the field, to our field, not the opponent side of the field, to our field, because then we would make our opponent discard one card from their hand. So that's like a -1. But since we drew and we don't have any other Ceruli in our deck, let's special summon this. We can even special summon something from our graveyard as well. So let's do this. Snow on our field from the graveyard. Now what do we do? Now let's do this. Do you see how smoothly I add bodies to my field and how many cards I still have in my hand? It's also smooth. Now I can even activate Triple Tactics Thrust. Let's just go ahead and do that. Not really necessary. Let's just take Triple Tactics Talent, add this to our hand. And I'm not going to use Triple Tactics Talent yet, because you might want to draw 2 cards, but you might even just take control of the Ceruli from my opponent's side of the field, or I might even just want to look at my opponent's hand and shuffle one of their cards back into the deck. We don't know yet, so we don't want to use this yet, and we do not even need the extra 2 cards that we can draw because we already have so many cards. So now what do we do? Now we can go for, wait, no, we cannot go for links because we have this. We can go for number 38, for example. Here we go. And now what else? Now we can do this. Take control of this and bounce this back to our hand. All right, let's set punishment. And let's take stock of what is happening again. We have Grapha still, so that this is one negate. We also have number 38, which is a spell card or effect negation as well. We have Darkwood Punishment, which is basically a solemn warning. We have Darkwood Brainwashing, which can negate like a lot of effect. Like you can probably see here that Brainwashing can be used once, twice, 3 times at least to negate or like change monster effects. And it's not that, just that, you know, I can just use Allure of Darkness, banish this. I have another Allure of Darkness set. Banish Genta. I have Abstract Goblin. Oh, maybe activate this. Doesn't matter. Look how well we can run through the deck. Like I can run through the entire deck if I want to right now. I haven't even used this effect here. So what I can do is I can even just go for like this. Another negation. I haven't even used this. Let's just go for this. Drop this, special summon it. Set our accession for the opponent's turn, for example, where we can do like this with Grapha and Lucent and get another fusion graph on the board. So like no matter what the opponent does here, they cannot react to anything. They activate a spell card, we go number 38. They activate another spell card, we go fusion Grapha. They activate anything else, we can use Zombie Stein here. They activate, like they summon a monster, we go punishment. We summon brainwashing, like they activate a monster effect, we use brainwashing. And even after all that, we can even do more. Because if we bounce Lucent back to our hand with brainwashing, for example, and drop, discard a random card from our hand, let's say it's Grapha, then we can pop something on the opponent's side of the field, and like it's so much you can do. This is like one normal this board and this starting hand is a normal start. It's nothing insane. It can be even better. It was nothing insane. It's just a normal opening hand. Without any disruptions, this is basically an unbeatable board. The only thing we didn't do here is we didn't do any Cerulli Silva combos. So we did not hand rip our opponent. Let's test something else now. Rematch. Okay, another starting hand. Again, we'll go for Genta first. And as I said in my deck profile video, if we have Genta and Rainbow in our beginning hand, everything is so much easier. In this case, I'm not gonna go for the gates first. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna use Dark Corridor, get Snow, drop Snow, so that I can get Darkwood Archives. Because I know that right now the game is over. If I'm not interrupted, which I guess this bot I will not be interrupted, I can make an unbeatable board now, no matter what. Let's get started. Banish this, go. Okay, activate this, activate this, activate this. Okay, let's get Silva to our hand. Let's try a different strategy in this video, okay? Okay, let's draw up, let's say, another rainbow. And with this, let's add this. Okay, so now what? How do we continue now? First of all, let's just get this back to our hand and drop this for another gates. Okay, now we can do another gates and banish this. Silva. Okay, we have our Cerulli, so it's almost over now. Let's pause for a moment and take stock of what's happening here. We started the hand with 5 cards, and now what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in our hand. We have 2 rainbows on the board. We have Darkwood Archives on the board, which we can use its effect to discard one Darkwood monster from our hand. And we have a Snow in the graveyard. So let's, for example, do this. Charge. Snow. And drop Cerulli. Cerulli goes here. Cerulli drops Silva. Silva goes here. And the opponent goes -2 from their hand. Now what? How do we continue here? We can do, for example, we can do cross it. We can do so many things. Let's say we do Will Witch's Apprentice just for fun. Doesn't matter at this point. Doesn't matter. You can do anything you want. Just get rid of the rainbow so that you can special some of them again to bounce back our Silva and Snow. So now what? We can use Allure of Darkness, banish, let's say Snow, get another Gates from the deck, use Gates again. Corridor here is useless. Let's just set this one right here. We can use even another Allure. What you can actually do here also is go Akashic Magician. Or no, never mind. You cannot go Akashic Magician right now. But you can do Macracker and Security Dragon. There we go. And with Security Dragon, we bounce Cerulli back to our hand. And now we can do another Allure. We don't need Lucent in this case. We can do Triple Tactics Thrust. Wait, no, we don't want to do this just yet. I think we might have misplayed just a bit, but it doesn't matter at all anyway, because what we can do here is use this effect, special summon rainbow, drop Ceruli first. Ceruli goes here, Ceruli drops Silva. Silva goes in and goes -2 from the opponent's hand again. So now we can go triple tax thrust. Now we can add card destruction if we want. We can add foolish burial goods for so that we can get the accession. Uh, let's just go for card destruction. Doesn't matter at all. You can go for anything really. Okay, set this. Let's just go for card destruction. Draw 2 cards. Pop Ceruli with Grapha. This goes here. Since we used Cracker's effect, we cannot special summon anything else other than Fiend monsters, so we cannot really summon anything else from here apart from Fusion Graphas. So here what you can do is you can even just end your turn and not care. Basically, the opponent has only one card in their hand, which means that you have your punishment, you have your brainwashing. They probably cannot even do anything to respond to you. So for example, let's say they try to do something. They try to normal summon a monster. Okay, this bot is like terrible just for testing, but if this was something stronger, you just go punishment, drop Silva. Silva gets special summoned. What else can they do here? Nothing. Even if they have like a dark hole and you cannot respond to this, doesn't matter because on your next turn you can just remake all this board, so it doesn't matter at all. Just go battle phase and just attack, and that's an easy win. No, like if there were no disruptions, it doesn't matter if this was like a bad bot or like a super strong meta deck, doesn't matter at all. Rematch. Let's go. Another test hand. Okay, this is a bit weirder, but let's see how this plays out. Okay, this is terrible. This is terrible because again, that's why I'm saying, guys, that triple tactics, thrust, and talent is probably the only 2 cards I would cut out of the deck. Like this now is useless. This does nothing. So the only thing we can do here is go allure and do this. Go another allure and we don't have anything really good here. So um, we probably should banish. Um, hmm. We don't have any follow-up after this, so say we banish Grapha and hope that we get something with our snow on the next turn. Technically here, I could pass, and the opponent would probably like beat me if they could establish a very strong board. Of course, this bot will not, and if we're not beat here, we can just start off our combos here. So we do this, get rainbow, gates, banish this, and get this. We can do this. Like, so now we assuming that we were not killed because of our inactivity. Okay, this destroys this. This gets special summoned. Okay, another thing here, since we do not have a lot of things to go off of, you can do rainbow first, get Genta back to our hand, and then Grapha, get rainbow back to our hand. So we have something else to discard now. Do this again. Go for another gates. Okay, we'll have no more gates, but what we can do here is we can normal summon Genta and get rainbow from our graveyard, or we can do this, drop snow. So now what we can do is, wait, we do not have another Grapha, so we should go for this. And with this, do this, and we can do this. Activate this, both of these effects again. Draw 2 cards. Special summon this. Allure of Darkness on Brow. As I said in the deck profile video, that's something that you will be doing quite often. Now we can even do Charge into a Dark World. Special summon Snow from the graveyard. Drop Silva. And you basically have like an OTK board here. Of course, again, in this starting hand, we would be killed if the opponent's deck was in any way competent. Let's try another hand. Okay, how do we start here? Similar to Genta, which gets us gates, Foolish Burial Goods will drop the accession to the graveyard. Now what? Since we have card destruction in our hand, what we want to try and do is get as many cards in our hand as possible before using card distractions, and optimally cards that get effects when discarded, so Dark World monsters in this case. So let's start with gates and our corridor. Corridor, we get rainbow, and we drop rainbow to get, let's say, silver, right? Okay, now what? Now we can get accession back from the graveyard by dropping snow, and snow will get us another rainbow. And now what we will do is play gates, banish snow, drop, do we want to drop rainbow or silver here? That's a, like, both choices are good, but I'm trying to figure out which one is the best. If we drop silver, we can draw another card and bounce silver back for a rainbow from the graveyard. If we draw, but the card we draw from gates would be random, so we're not sure if it will be helpful. Um, so after that, we will be having 4 cards in our hand plus card destruction. If we drop rainbow, we can guarantee to get um, like a lucent or something like that. So I think dropping silver is the best choice, but I'm gonna drop rainbow just, for whatever, doesn't matter. So let's add lucent here. And let's play another gates. And since we do not have anything else to banish from the graveyard, obviously you don't want to banish the rainbows, we can use card destruction now. 3 cards, and special summon lucent and silver. Drop this for gates. We don't have any other gates, so now we can do this and this, and we can use this effect again. And use Abstract Goblin here. You can go for gates again. Oh wait, never mind. We do not have anything else to banish here, so we can go dealings first. Here you can just go, Ceruli, but first of all we're gonna go snow though, because with snow we want to get archives, and with archives we can now do this. Drop this, activate the second effect of archives. Drop Genta, special summon Ceruli now here. Drop Silva with Ceruli, -2 from the opponent's hand. Now what we want to do is we want to make Akashic Magician with this and this, get Ceruli back to our hand, and now with Rainbow, bounce Silva back to our hand. And now with our third gates, do this again. Drop Silva, -2 again. And now you can do whatever you want, doesn't matter. You have already won here. you can just go for any like link 2, or even like you can even go for, let's say, you go for like security dragon, for example. Do this, get Cerule back. This, you can go charge and get Snow back. Drop, you know, Cerule you can drop probably. You can drop Lucent even. You can do this. You can do a Paulusa here. You can do this now. You can even now go for this here, here. Use this. Special summon Silva. Drop Cerule. Cerule goes here. Drop Lucent. Special summon Lucent. Special summon something from the deck. Another rainbow to our side of the field. Bounce Silva, or Lucent, doesn't really matter at this point. Here you can go Giant Trainer. Oh no, never mind, you can't because you used Macraca. But doesn't matter. Look at our board. We have a Palusa. We have Brainwashing. No matter what the opponent does with their one card in their hand, they're lost. Rematch. Let's go for a fourth one. Not the best starting hand, again, because we have triple tactics talent, but let's see. All right, so here we have three options, realistically. Cerule, Snow, and Rainbow. If we drop Rainbow, we will get like a Grapha or a Silva or a Lucent. And then what we will do is we will normal summon our Cerule, bounce it back for a Rainbow, set our Brainwashing, and we will not be able to do anything else. Even that is a decent start because Brainwashing will probably uh, give us at least one monster effect change by bouncing our Rainbow to our hand. But it's the worst play though. It's still fine in some cases, but it's the worst play. So what if we do not drop Rainbow? What else is there we can drop? If we drop Cerule, then Cerule will be special summoned to the opponent side of the field, and then we will have to drop Snow or Rainbow. And if we drop Rainbow, if we drop Snow by Cerule, then we get to add something from our deck to our hand, which is fine, but we do not get the secondary effect. So we should drop Rainbow from Cerule in this case, because then we will get, like, for example, a Grapha, and then we will special summon a level 4 or lower Dark World monster from the deck to our side of the field, which we will then bounce to our hands to special summon Rainbow from the graveyard. That's a good play, but it's not the best play. The best play here is drop Snow, and with Snow, the Searcher, add Genta, the Searcher, for gates. Why, with Snow, why did we add Genta, and with Genta we added gates? And why didn't we add gates directly with Snow? Because with Snow we could have gotten gates right away, but we got Genta instead, and with Genta we got gates. Why? Because now we have Genta in our graveyard, which we can banish to activate Gates of the Dark World's effect. Instead of banishing Snow, Snow is good to be in the graveyard, but regardless, we have an extra body in our graveyard that we can banish for an extra activation of Gates, for example. But because we want to be banishing Genta anyway, because it would get special summoned to our side of the field. And another point is that it minimizes our deck size by one card, by one Genta. So now what do we do is, let's just set the brainwashing just so it does not exist in our hand. Go for gates, banish this, drop rainbow, and we drew D-Links, right? So now we can activate both Genta, Special Summon, and Rainbow, search. What do we search here? What is the best thing to search here? Obviously, we don't want to go for Graphas here because we do not have accession. Uh, there is nothing to pop on the enemy side of the field. So whether we want to go for Silva or Lucent. The thing is, since we do not really have a lot of like discarding power at the moment, we only have like the Dark World dealings at the moment. We do not want to go for Silva. We want to go for Lucent. Why? Because Lucent with Ceruli will let us summon more bodies from the deck to our side of the field. And right now, this is what we want. We want to establish a board. Later on, we might be able to even use the Silva combo. But for the moment, we want to establish more bodies on our board. So we get Lucent here. Do this. Bounce Genta back for Rainbow. Drop Rainbow for another gates. And now we go back to our gates. Banish this. Ceruli. Silva. And we special summon Rainbow to our side of the field. All right, great, awesome. Look at our with our mediocre hand, we have quite a decent board at the moment. How do we continue from here? First of all, let's activate archives. Why not? And let's make a Akashic Magician to get our Ceruli back, and let's get our Lucent back as well. Now we can do archives or D-Links. Let's do archives. Drop Ceruli, drop Lucent. Let's get another body. Let's get another rainbow on the field. So now, with this little trick, we didn't get that many more bodies on the field, but we have our 3 rainbows available. They are all here right now. And because of that, we can now go for Giant Trainer. 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. Now what? How do we continue from this? Since we have our 3 rainbows available, we do not necessarily need to be doing the Ceruli Lucent combo anymore. What we better do is go for the Ceruli Silva combo. So we will try to get to that point now. How do we do that? First of all, let's do this. Let's take back our Ceruli or not. That was probably a mistake, but it doesn't really matter. All right. So now what? Now we can do charge, get our snow from our graveyard, drop Ceruli. With Ceruli, we can even do archives now. Drop Brow, draw 1, 2, and 3 cards. And with Ceruli, we drop Lucent. And we can special summon something else. We can special summon, look at this deck now that not a lot of people are talking about. We can special summon Ceruli from our deck to our side of the field. And because Ceruli was special summoned to our side of the field by the effect of a Dark World card, Ceruli now gets the effect your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. So now your opponent goes -1. Okay, we reached this point. What do we do now? We start bouncing back our monsters. bounce this back, and bounce this back. And you know what else we can do? We can also go for Security Dragon, bounce Ceruli back. Awesome. And you know what else we can do? We can even go for Dark World Accession and make a Fusion Grapha now. Why not, right? Go for it. Let's say we do this. We drop Grapha and we drop Snow. There's a Fusion Grapha. And let's get from our deck, let's get Punishment with Snow. Why Punishment? Because you don't need anything else. You don't really, I mean, you could get Silva, I guess, but you don't really need anything else, right? It's either Silva or Punishment. I guess Silva might be better because you can now go for Ceruli Silva combos and completely hand rip your opponent. But it's the thing I talked about in my deck profile video, where with Snow, after a point, you will not be going for any of these cards here. You will be going for the Punishment or the Brainwashing if you didn't have it already, or maybe like the Archives. You will be going for those cards because those cards are so powerful right now. But let's go for Silva for the moment, just to make this a more interesting video. Okay, now what? Now we can do this. And now we can go for our link 4. So should we go for Saryuja or should we go for Appaloosa? And like Saryuja doesn't have a point here. Why would you go for Saryuja here? Like you already have whatever you want in your hand. You don't need anything more. So go Appaloosa with this, and no wait. Oh, I misclicked. I wanted to get rid of Rainbow as well. Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter anyway. So now what we can do is Dark Horde Dealings. Drop Ceruli. With Ceruli we drop Silva. -2. Now we do this. And oh, we have another Gates, by the way. Just realized. Another Gates. Let's go. Drop Ceruli. And with Ceruli we drop Silva again. Another -2. Now they have no cards in their hand. We can even just end our turn here and it will be over. Any card they draw, we will negate it with Grapha. Doesn't matter. But we can even go even more than this. We can go number 38, for example. We can oh, look at this, okay? Look at this. Let's do this. Get this back to our hand, drop Grapha, and now normal summon this, special summon Grapha, and go for Hieratic Sun Dragon Lord of Heliopolis. Now, just assume that the opponent had like 2 back row, like a field spell, and a couple monsters, let's say 5 cards here. You could do this, and you can tribute Giant Trainer, you can tribute Lucent, Rainbow, Brow, even Heliopolis himself. You can tribute so many cards, and then pop all these cards on your opponent's end of the field. Right now, you only need to tribute 1, so let's just tribute Giant Trainer, who's useless now. Do this. So you can even do triple tactics thrust here. Doesn't matter. Card destruction. Set card destruction. Set this even for maybe next turn. Like the opponent has 0 cards in their hand now. You have 1 negate, 3 negates, 4 negates, 5, 6, 7. How many is brainwashing? We don't even know. It's insane. It's over here. There's no way the opponent comes back from this ever, no matter what the graveyard looks like. Okay, let's try this again. 1, 2. I'll be more quick. Like I will be doing this more quickly now. Let's go. Boom, boom, and let's get rainbow with snow again. Boom, boom. Let's get let's say Lucent because we need the extra summoning power from Lucent. Let's go for we can go Allure on Genta here. And here is our Ceruli, so we can go for our third gates. Try to keep up, okay? Let's special summon this. And let's go D-Links with Carafa or Archives. Oh wait, we have another D-Links here, so let's just go for Rainbow. And there we go. That's awesome. That's perfect. Let's go for this. There are so many things you can do here. You can go Accession. Let's go. Let's just go Accession, to be honest. Look at this. Look at this board. 3 rainbows, 1 Grapha, and 1 Fusion Grapha. And you have an Accession that you can use in your graveyard. And you can look at this. Let's go. Giant Trainer. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Look at this. Thin out your deck. Thin out your deck again. Okay, now what? Do we have our Silva? We should try to get a Silva so we can do the Ceruli Silva combos now, right? All right, how do we do this? We have a Ceruli in the graveyard, so let's do this and drop Snow. With Snow, get Archives. Get Archives. Drop. Let's drop this and drop this as well. Draw 3 cards in total, and do this for Brow. Oh my god, what is this? This is insane. Let's do this. Draw 2 cards and... Okay, look at this. Are you ready? With Charge into a Dark World, I'm going to special summon Ceruli from the graveyard to my side of the field, which means that my opponent will have to discard a card from their hand, and now I have to discard a card from my hand as well because of the spell card. I drop Ceruli, now this activates and the other one activates, and oh shit, I cannot even look at this. I don't even have space to special summon anything else. I misplayed this. It doesn't even matter though. Doesn't matter. Uh, okay. Now, let's say we do this. Add to our hands. And with this, we will get Silva, and we will do the double hand rip combo. So Akashic Magician here. And we get this, we get Silva, and we drop Ceruli. Ceruli will drop Silva. Silva will go -2, bounce this back, go for Security Dragon, bounce Ceruli again, and we can use Accession from the graveyard to drop Ceruli. Ceruli will drop Silva and go for another -2, and again, this duel is over now. We can even go Allure of Darkness, Card Destruction. We don't even have a lot of cards in our deck at this point. Set this, set this. We can go for Appaulusa. Here we go. We can do this. Oh, look at this, our trap cards. Oh wow. Set this, set this. Okay, get this back, get this back. Let's say we get a grapha as well. What do you want to go here? I don't know, go for number 38. That, like, look at this. The opponent doesn't even have any cards in their hand. Like, why am I even trying at this point? We have the two trap cards. We have this negate, this negate, this negate. Uh, we have accession. We have like, let's go allure. Doesn't matter. It's over. Another test hand. I'm gonna go one last test hand before I leave. Okay. So do this and do this. That's a terrible start. Oh, thank God. Okay, we drew this, so we can drop bro now. Draw two more cards. Perfect. Okay, this was not the best opening, but it turned out quite good. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's add. Um, we will add grapha or not. I want to add grapha because I can use accession, but maybe not yet. Maybe not yet. Maybe I want to go Lucent first. And let's drop Brow, draw two cards and another card from Brow itself. Awesome. Bounce this back to our hand. Use Genta first instead of Abstract Goblin. Don't forget. Don't forget. Now use the third gates. Now use Abstract Goblin. Set this. Now you can do, look at this. Accession. Drop Grapha and Ceruli. Grapha pops the other Ceruli. And, oh, misplayed. I didn't want to place Ceruli here. Doesn't matter though. Drop this. Special summon this to our side of the field. And do this. Let's stop for a minute and look that we have our two trap cards ready. We have our Grapha, Fusion Grapha ready. We can go into our Giant Trainer. We have our Accession in the graveyard, which we can use to drop a Dark World monster from our hand. We can use the discard effect of Archives. We can use Gates here. So let's go for Giant Trainer, for example. It's our first turn anyway. Use this. Drop Accession. Again. And again. Awesome. Now what I will do is I will use Accession to drop Snow, and with Snow I will get charged into a Dark World. Why? Because now I can do this. And now I can do this and this. And I want to do this. There we go. And this. And now, look at this. Akashic Magician. Get one Cerule back. And do this. Cerule. Silva. Okay. Hand Rip complete. You can, I don't know, want to go Security Dragon. Doesn't matter. Want to do this. Oh, my card distraction. Let's go. Want to do this and go Appaloosa now. Like, this would be a good spot for Zilantis as well, but doesn't matter, I guess. Go for this. and go card destruction, summon both of these and swap them for these, and can go D-links, drop this, get the other grapha, and go for another D-links, drop the other grapha, pop this, normal summon this, go for this, allure on brow, and now you can even just get this for extra protection. You have Fusion Grapha, you have number 38, 4x Appaloosa, the two trap cards. Do you need anything else? No. So with these hand tests, you can see that when you go first, out was it like 5 or 6 duels that we tested? We went first in all 5 or 6 of them. In all of them, we went first, and we also did not get interrupted in any of them. And in all of them, apart from one, we managed to establish an unbeatable board, and in almost all of them, we also hand ripped the opponent completely. So, with this deck profile, this build, if going first without interruptions, it's extremely likely that you will establish an unbeatable board on your first turn, and you will also most likely hand rip your opponent completely. Um, no need for dangers, no need for Diabolica, no need for like Zelantis, the Dugares, Beige, no need for any of that stuff. They are all useless. They're not needed. Now, if you get interrupted, like an Ash Blossom or a Droll and Lockbird or anything like that, what you can do is in your side deck, get 3 prohibitions. Get them in your deck instead of the triple tactics, thrust, and talents, and maybe like the Abstract Goblin. Get the 3 prohibitions, and on your first turn, use prohibition on Droll and Lockbird, for example, right? Now, if you're going second, you will most likely you'll be starting with 6 cards instead of 5, so the chances of having a strong combo are even higher. You might get disrupted more by the established board of the opponent, but most of the time you will be able to go through your entire combo. Even with maybe a couple disruptions, you will still be able to go through all of it and OTK your opponent. So that's my deck profile. Those are some test hands that we went through. I might even go through more test hands, more combos in like, fast forward at some point. But until then, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.